3 years ago, the Avenue of Heroes was really just an idea. It was an idea that was formed by Tony McGowan. And it was an idea about how could we honor the people that have made such a big difference in our country, that have ties to Coronado. And over the last 3 years, this program has grown immensely as Coronado continues to rally around and honor those that deserve to be honored. Now I would like to ask all of the volunteer biography writers to stand.
W. Bush. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, the population of the United States of America underwent a fundamental change. Gone were the old isolationist ways, to be replaced by a new patriotic and driving zeal. George H.W. Bush was no exception. He was in his senior year of high school, and his family was planning for him to go to college. But now a war was on, and the 18-year-old Bush saw it as his duty to enlist in the service and defend his country. He was accepted into the Naval Aviation Program and was commissioned and designated to be a naval aviator when he was 18. He is believed to be the youngest person ever to reach this goal. He went on to fly the new Grumman Avenger aircraft and was assigned to BT-51, the torpedo squadron, flying off the light carrier, the USS San Jacinto. In 1944, the squadron was assigned the task of blowing up the radio antennas on the island of Chichijima during the Palau campaign. Bush dropped his four 500-pound bombs on the target, but his aircraft was hit by the Japanese anti-aircraft batteries and set on fire. He was forced to bail out and landed in the water north of the island. Luckily, he was sighted and picked up by the American submarine, USS Finback, SS-305. The submarine was on war patrol, so Bush became part of the crew for the next 30 days, standing watches and participating in the ship's daily war routine. When the ship finally made port at Midway Island, Bush disembarked and returned to his squadron to continue flying combat missions. He accumulated 215 carrier landings while flying off this ship. During his naval career, he was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross and 3 Air Medals, and fittingly, in 2009, after his presidency, the new nuclear aircraft carrier USS George H.W. Bush, CVN-77, joined the fleet.
Elliot Schubert, written by Ken Schubert and edited by Sam Brown. Elliot Schubert was born on September 6, 1923 in Chicago to a working-class family. His grandparents were Jewish refugees from Eastern Europe in the late 19th century. His father owned a dry cleaning store and was active in the labor movement, while his mother was a devoted housewife. Both of his parents were lovers of reading and learning. Elliot worked his way through high school and undergraduate school. He was a high achiever in the classroom and played varsity baseball as well. During the war, he enlisted in midshipman school and was sent overseas on USS Casablanca, CVE-55, an aircraft carrier, in 1945, prior to Japanese surrender. He spent 6 months on board the ship as a communications officer with the rank of ensign. Following his discharge in 1946, he and his wife Eileen moved to Madison, Wisconsin, where he obtained a PhD in chemistry with assistance from the GI Bill and Eileen's employment as a stenographer. Elliot and Eileen eventually moved back to Chicago, where they raised 4 children. He worked for a leading pharmaceutical company as a laboratory chemist, patent specialist, and research coordinator, while she taught the hard of hearing in public schools. In 1984, Eileen and Elliot retired to San Diego, where he dedicated his time to writing fiction, and she to woodworking, bridge, and golf. Elliot moved to Coronado in 2012 to reside in an assisted living facility. Eileen moved to be with him in late 2016 and passed away in May of 2017. Elliot is currently involved in writing community activities, listening to music, watching movies and YouTube, and keeping up with the news. Would the family please come forward?
I'm a hometown hero. Out